Hello and welcome back. How to Make a Killing is a great film and a much better offering from Glen Powell since Top Gun Maverick. It's a film about money, wealth, power, greed, identity, revenge, and love. Glen Powell seems to have a 90s era Tom Cruise-ness about his performance in this film. He moves and even sounds like him a little bit at times. And there's no wonder, as Tom Cruise is more or less his mentor at this point, and he oozes charisma. The question is, how far would you go to acquire money, wealth, and power? Let's get into How to Make a Killing. So the story of How to Make a Killing revolves around a young woman at the start of the film who is having a chat with her father. She's 18 years old, and due to unforeseen circumstances, she becomes pregnant. Her father just so happens to be one of the wealthiest people in the world, part of the Redfellow family, who are worth something like $28 billion. She wants to keep the baby, and so because of this, she's exiled from the family, and so she has to survive on her own. She raises her son called Beckett, who we find out later on is Glen Powell's character. But during his upbringing, he is constantly reminded that he is part of a much bigger, much more wealthy family called the Redfellows, and has an inheritance of $28 billion, but actually he's eighth in line to receive the inheritance. So she brings him up to live the lifestyle of a billionaire, even though they can't afford it, but she wants Beckett to be prepared for life when he goes out on his own. Again, due to unforeseen circumstances, the mother dies, and so Beckett is put through the foster system and gone through many different families, and we see Beckett as an adult when we're working in a clothing store, specifically suits and things like that. This is where he runs into Margaret, Qualley's character, an old friend of his from his past who he hasn't seen for quite some time now, and just a chance run in at the store, and she pops up throughout Beckett's story. And during this encounter, she talks to him about the past, and they sort of reminisce a little bit, and she reminds him that was like, oh, have you ever come into contact with the Redfellows, and have you got your inheritance yet? And so he's like, no, I haven't, otherwise I wouldn't be working in this little store, would I? She jokingly says something along the lines of like, she goes, well, maybe you just cut a few branches and work your way up the family tree, so then that way you can obtain the $1 billion family wealth. And so this sparks an idea in Beckett's head. He's not happy in his job, he's not happy with how his life has turned out, and he still firmly believes that he is entitled to this inheritance that his mother promised him during his upbringing. He hatches a plan and starts picking off people one by one. And it's his story of rising through the ranks of the family tree. Like I said at the start of this video, this film is actually really, really great. And Glen Powell's performance is terrific. He oozes charisma. His character's a little bit sardonic, a little bit sarcastic as well. And he plays that very well, and is very much a friendly psychopath that you could almost like have a drink with or socialize with, and you just think, well, it's a cool dude. Has that in spades. I do like Margaret Qualley's character. At first, I thought she was very much a bitch, and until her character unfolds throughout the film, then you find out why she is as she is, and then you're like, ah, that's clever. That is clever. That is a really great writing right there. So that was a really great character. What I do like is the fact that the murders are actually quite imaginative, and the fact that he actually enjoys the killing aspect of it, so much so that that becomes his life. And as the film goes on, he actually finds a stable career in finance, and he finds love, and that's the mask that he hides behind. What I enjoy is the fact that the killer, is his true self, and it kind of flips that narrative on its head. So I thought, again, that was really terrific writing as well. Again, the way he kills people and turns the murders into accidents is really, really clever. People on the family tree, you love to hate. They are absolute a-holes in this film, and it shows a side of the rich, the pretentiousness of it all, and their wanting of more and more and more. is evident in this. For a normal person, enough is enough, but for these people, enough is not at all. It's the bottom of the ladder. So they show excess in the most grandiose of ways in this film, which is really quite interesting. It's a whole different life, a different level, a whole different level of life that they're living. And you know, it's one of those things that when you watch the film, it does question your morals of like, is the life that you're living currently is enough to survive on? And does the fact that having more money make you happier, or does more money cause more problems, more issues? And you know, it's a lot to deal with. And so this film sort of gets you thinking about those types of ideas and themes. He even says at one point, it's there's nothing wrong for wanting more in life, which is true. Which is true. We all want to strive to be our best selves. We all strive for that next level in our life. So when he said that, it did hit home for a little bit, and I was just sat there. I was like, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. And so you sort of empathize with Beckett's character. You empathize with Glen Powell's performance because you understand the reasons why he's actually doing it. There is a clear why he's doing it. And so it's really sort of well crafted. So I really enjoyed it. It's a great film. It's well shot with some amazing performances from Margaret Qualley and Glen Powell. And also there's a great scene with Glen Powell and Ed Harris where he knows everything that Glen Powell's been doing, but he doesn't say it outright. It's sort of like reading between the lines, like you, the audience member, are sitting there and like, he clearly knows what's going on. It's really well designed. It's really great. And it constantly has you guessing throughout the whole film. And so very much recommend this film. It's not that long, maybe about 2 hours, just over 2 hours. And so all the performances across the board are great. And like I said, the billionaire family members, you love to hate them. You really do. And so, yeah, I will give this a 4 out of 5. And yeah, highly recommend this film. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. The next video I'll be doing will be one of The Bride with Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. So that will be the next video that I'll be doing. So watch out for that, and thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video.